Hey folks, Sean McInnes here alongside Ben Haumiller from EA, who's here to tell us all about NCAA Football 12. Ben, let's start by looking back at last year's game. What do you guys think you got right, and how did you focus in on the areas that needed improving for this year's iteration of the game?
I mean, last year was a huge year for us visually. Big upgrades with linear lighting allowing us to add things like player self-shadowing too, so things looked really great in certain times of day, certain aspects, certain areas. But this year we wanted to really make sure that the game looked great from everywhere. And so with that, you're seeing a lot of addition to the exposure of the camera through HDR lighting, which really allows it to look great even in shadow, even in the dark side of the game. You'll see a lot of great exposure and great different parts of the uniform, the players coming to life like never before.
Now, you guys have done a lot to the presentation, like you just said, and that's very interesting because you have a lot of unique school characteristics in there, these sort of celebrations and presentations that are unique to these different colleges. How do you go about filtering fan suggestions? Because everybody's got their alma mater, everybody's got their favorite school, and I'm sure everybody's got their own suggestions as well, right?
Of course. I mean, that's one of the things with college football that's so great is every school is so unique, and there are so many cool elements about each school that make them so different from one another. And so it's really a key of trying to get those different parts of the game, parts of the schools into the game. And so you're seeing things like Bevo for Texas. You're seeing the Bulldog run out for Louisiana Tech. So we do try and touch a lot of different schools and get a lot of different things in there. So if you're a fan of Georgia, you're going to see UGA. If you're at Wake Forest, you're going to see the Demon Deacon riding out on a motorcycle. So a lot of different depth and a lot of different things for each school.
Now, it's not all about presentation because at the end of the day, this is a football game. People have the controller in their hands and they want to go out there and make some tackles. So what have you guys done on the field this year?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really a part of football is the collision and that point of impact and what happens at that point of impact. And so the new collision animation system is really all about how tackles begin and how blocks are started and how the receiver goes about making the catch. So things don't happen until there's contact on the field. So you're not going to see players slide around or look like they're on ice, just warping into position to make a tackle.
And Ben, I imagine one of the most difficult parts of your job is, every year with each subsequent iteration of the game, it's just the idea of, adding new features into the game where you're trying to get people who aren't so familiar with the NCAA football franchise, but at the same time, you want to keep the diehard fans happy. So talk about maintaining that balance this year in terms of new features and changes and tweaks.
Well, yeah, I mean, for us, really, it's all about our community and what they want to have. We have a great group of fans out there that love to tell us what they love about the game and also what they don't like. And so we really want to go through and try and address those every year and make sure we're making sure everyone's happy with what we're doing. And so things like zone coverage and adding that into the game this year, a lot better zone coverage. It's going to run just like a real zone does in real life, where you see players handing off receivers from one side to the other. You're not going to see a player in zone coverage just standing out on an island anymore while everyone's on the other side of the field. They're going to shade more towards the middle of the field and try and help out where they can. So a lot of great additions as far as zone and just what we're doing there to really make sure that everyone's playing the game that knows how a zone coverage should work, feels like it works just right in the game.
Sounds good. Ben, one last question for you. When is the game going to be out in stores and which platforms will it be out for?
It'll be on stores July 12th for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Thanks a lot. There you guys have it, NCAA Football 12.